DJ Immortal, live in the mix.
All right, Outlaw Radio Live fans, we are live on the air with legendary East Coast hip-hop artists, Unique from the legendary rap duo, Unique and Dashan. How are you doing this evening, man?
I'm hanging in there, man. What up, man?
Yeah, man, I
Gotta stay above things.
I gotta ask you this, man. What made you decide to get into the music industry initially?
Well, I've always been, into music for a very long time, since I was like 7 years old. Actually, seeing Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry was one of my biggest inspirations. I don't know, it was just the way he controlled the crowd. There's something about the way he controlled the crowd when he was on stage. It made me just want to be an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? And hearing rap way back in the days, in my early ages, you know what I'm saying, about 7 or 8 years old, I started hearing Sugar Hill Gang and Fatback Band and all of that stuff. So I just wanted to get into it. And my elder brother, he was into it. So, he kind of, taught me the ropes and everything like that, and actually wrote me my first rhyme and taught me the format of everything until I could actually catch on to it myself. So by the time I was about 11 or 12, that's when I really started to perfect it, you know what I'm saying? So it's been in my family for a long time.
And when you said Chuck Berry, every time I hear Chuck Berry, I think of Johnny B. Good, man. One of my favorite Berry songs.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I released the album Black to the Future. It was on Warlock Records back in 1989. You know what I'm saying? With the same label as the Jungle Brothers, respectively. So me and the Jungle Brothers had a lot of, we did a lot of shows back then in 89 and 90. You know what I'm saying? That's back when the house music era was really booming. And Warlock Records was putting out a lot of house music. So I had Todd Terry remix one of the house songs on my album. You know what I'm saying? And it was manufactured and licensed over in Bellefonte, Germany. Kind of blew up over there, but I never got to go to Germany to perform, so it kind of shut me down, you know what I'm saying? Due to poor management and stuff like that. It was a lot of different aspects that stopped me from actually blossoming and getting to where I wanted to be, and solidifying my place in the hip-hop world right now, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still a veteran in the game. I'm still, I work with all the old school artists right now. I'm still doing my thing.
So, you also mentioned as well that you are a creator of the Black Watch or something like that. I have to ask you, what was how did that all come to be?
Well, actually, Professor X, he's the one, and Paradise. Paradise used to play music over in Latin Quarters. He was a promoter in Latin Quarters. He's the one who they formulated the group. Professor X is actually Sonny Carson's son. Sonny Carson is a black activist, and he taught Lamemba Carson about a lot of black history and stuff, so he wanted to put together a group that would, bring about the black history through music. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what he really did. He collaborated with Africa Bambaataa and a few other groups, you know what I'm saying, in the Zulu Nation, and we kind of formulated things from there. And I was actually the first member to come out. I was the first messenger of the Black Watch movement to come out. So we had this club called The World on Avenue C and 2nd Street in Lower East Side, Manhattan, where we would play music at. And that's where DJ Red Alert and him and my DJ would take over and play music, and that's how we really got known. You know what I'm saying? So that was like the spark that made everything come about.
And you were also called the man of 1,000 voices, the human beatbox. I have to ask you, how did you get that name, and what's the story behind that?
Well, I've been beatboxing for years. I started beatboxing when I was like 13 years old. So, I've been doing that for a very long time. And I also do different voices, like, I can change my voice at will. It's really no problem. I can do just about any voice. Hey, man, really, I can really change my voice, and you would never expect it to be me. But, I do cartoon voices. I do all kinds of voices. And I also do...
Man,
multi-talented individual.
That is crazy. Like, I was not even I'm not gonna lie to you. That actually kind of blew me. I'm sorry, that blew me away for a second. That actually sounded like a beatboxing machine, just the way you were doing that, man. DJ scratching and everything. Wow, that's fucking amazing, dude. Wow.
Yeah, well, my DJ Dashan, he actually invented the transforming scratch. He put a lot of DJs up on it, and then they took it and ran away with it, but he passed away. Shortly after our album was released, man, rest his soul. So, he's not here with us right now. And that was like a major blow to my career, too, because he was like the mouth of the group. He was the one that got us into all the invention he was the one who negotiated everything with everybody, and he just had that knack for talking to people. And he was not only my producer, he was like my mentor also. You know what I'm saying? And when he passed away, it kind of shut me down for a minute, because at the time, if you listen to my album, my rap is really, really fast. I invented that Twister type style. Where Twister uses and the Bone Thugs and Harmony use that fast type of rapping style. I'm the one who actually created that style. I'm the first person to be on wax with that style. And Jazzo and Jay-Z, I had a battle with Jay-Z way back in the days before Jay-Z blew up. I'm from Brooklyn, from right around the corner from Multi Projects, and they heard us doing the style, and then they came up with the style themselves. And after my DJ passed away, I couldn't find another producer to actually, to modify the music to fit my style or whatever. So it was really hard for me, man. But I'm the creator of that fast rapping style.
And I do want to say, man, my condolences to your DJ, man. That must have been a really, really hard process, man. My condolences. And when you brought when you brought up said that you do cartoon voices, I have to ask, man, like on the record, have you ever done like any other have you done any like famous cartoons or anything like that with?
Well, actually, I haven't done that. I'm actually about to get into that. One of my good friends, Wanda D. I don't know if you ever heard of her. She's a global artist herself, Wanda D. She put me up on one of her friends, Joan Baker. She's into the cartoon thing, and she's very, very prominent in it. And she's gonna hook me up. So I got some interviews coming up with her soon, and she's gonna listen to some of the voices that I got, and she's gonna show me how to go about doing it. I'm really trying to get into the cartoon thing and do some cartoon voices, man. I can do a lot. I'm gonna tag you in something I got on Facebook, so you can check it out yourself. Where I did a couple of voices up there.
Hey, most definitely. I'm actually interested in hearing that. And I think just a few voices that you did while you were on the air here a few minutes ago, I physically feel, man, that you will blow those interviews out of the park, man. I really do feel that you will get that position.
Yeah, no, I think I will be able to have. I'm actually writing a cartoon movie now, so I just started writing it like a month ago. So I got a good couple of pages into it. I'm really thinking that I can really crack this industry open and get into that, man. Something I'm looking forward to, man.
So you are also one half of the legendary East Coast rap duo, like as we all know, Unique and Dashan. How did you and Dashan get connected, and what's the story behind that?
Well, actually, we grew up together. He was a DJ, and I was an MC. Like he DJ'd, he used to do the block parties and stuff like that. And I was the guy that always wanted to get on the microphone. So he did a couple of block parties. He heard me rap, and I went away for him, and I moved out to Queens, and he stayed in Bed-Stuy. But then I wound up coming back to Brooklyn, and we linked up again. And so it was a good, I'd say, a good year and a half of us, struggling and trying to get in the studio, and just trying to put our music out there, trying to get somebody to hear our music. And it was actually one day, his wife was playing our tape. She's a hairdresser. She was braiding some young lady's hair, and she's playing our music. And the young lady's like, "Hey, wait a second, that sounds kind of hot. Like, who is that?" And she's like, "Oh, that's my husband and his new artist, man. They've been trying to get out for like forever. You know what I'm saying? But I guess nothing's happening with it. But they got some good music." And she's like, "You know what? My husband is a manager. He's looking for some new artists." Her husband actually was Professor X from the X-Clan. So she wound up taking my tape to Professor X, and Professor X heard it. And then he reached out to us, and maybe 6 months later, that's when he wound up getting us to deal with Warlock Records. The rest is history from there.
And I have to ask you, man, what was it like actually being signed to Warlock Records? And who else was signed alongside you guys?
Yeah, Warlock Records, it was an independent label, but it had like a lot of major hits on it from the club music era, the house music era. They had like Voodoo Ray and good couple of good artists up there, you know what I'm saying? With the Jungle Brothers, Girl Allow House, that was released on Warlock Records, their first album. So, that's what really put Warlock on the map back then. And I think they sold the Jungle Brothers to Warner Brothers back then, so that kind of gave them some sort of revenue too, you know what I'm saying? So, they did a lot of licensing overseas, and the music is really big overseas. The club music was really booming overseas, and in London and Germany and stuff like that. So but I don't think they never had like a major distributor, but they're pretty prominent. They've been doing their thing for a while.
So in 1989, you and Dashan both released the iconic record called Black to the Future. I have to ask you, what is the story and inspiration behind that record?
Well, actually, it was the movement, the Black Watch movement, that inspired us to title it that, and to actually to bring forth. See, we were more or less a street type of group, and the movement was about the movement, and we were more or less about not only the movement, but we wanted to do our own thing. So, like, if you notice, one side of the album, it says the key side, and the other side says the street side. So, I wanted to throw some raw lyrics up there, too. I didn't want to just, talk about, black awareness or anything like that. I wanted to let them know that I can party, too. We can get down and party. We can get grimy, too. We can do all of that. We're multi-talented individuals. We didn't want to closet ourselves off into one brand of music. So, we tried to throw a little some of everything on the album, and that kind of it peeved a lot of people in the movement. They felt like we were more or less rebellious, and we were more or less trying to do our own thing and not promote the movement. You see what I'm saying? So that's where a lot of controversy came into play, and we wound up running straight from the group. Shortly after the album was released, maybe a good year or so after the album was released, we left the Black Watch movement. And that was around the precise time that the X-Clan wound up blowing up. They wound up getting their deal with 4th and Broadway, I believe it was Island Records at the time. And they came after us, and they went worldwide. He went on tour with Public Enemy and everything like that. The Professor X was doing a lot of shady practices, rest his soul, so, I don't like to speak ill about the dead, but he had a couple of shady practices back then. And, he did a lot of mismanaging the money and stuff like that, and a lot of controversy just came about. So that's what really took the whole entire group down. That's why the Black Watch movement did. They put out a good number of albums. ISIS, Queen Mother Rage, YZ, and Professor X himself, they all came out with albums. Some of them had success, some of them didn't. And basically, he was mismanaging the funds and everything like that. So when it came to light, when everybody, started realizing what's going on, that's when everything crumbled, and the Black Watch movement just wound up disbanding.
And
I think he passed away in 2005 too. So after that, the group was just dispersed.
And that's a sad thing, though, too. And especially in the music industry, there's so many stories, unfortunately, of money getting in the way of such amazing groups. Like, for instance, the most infamous one, NWA and Jerry Heller. It's really sad when money has to break up something so amazing.
Well, they can. All the stuff is online. It's available. Black to the Future album is available on Apple Music, iTunes, all of that. They can listen to some of my stuff on YouTube. I have over 100 songs of mine on YouTube. They can subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's called Super Diggy Dow, like Diggy Simmons. SUPERDIGGY Dow, like the Dow Jones, DOW. And you can, you'll see a whole heap of songs that I have up there. Me doing reggae. I do reggae music also. Yeah, I got that Buju Banton raspy type voice, so I do all kinds of music. I do R&B, hip hop, pop, all of that. So it's a whole variety of songs up there for them to check out.
And I also have to ask this, man. Unfortunately, Unique and Dashan only released one album. I'm pretty sure you probably got this question quite a few times, but why wasn't there ever a second album?
Yeah, I know. We never got to release the second album. Like I said, my DJ passed away shortly after the album was released. He passed away in 91. And the album was released in 89, in March of 89. So, like, March of 91, he passed away. You know what I'm saying? So, he wasn't really around. We were actually in the studio with Stevie Blass, and that's Rakim's brother, the one who plays all the keyboard tracks on Rakim's songs. And Trisco from that group, the Foursome, we were actually in the studio putting my next album together during his demise, you know what I'm saying, right before his demise. And we had a good couple of songs, which I wound up losing all of them. All of the music that we had, I wound up losing all the material. And I never got to release any of the songs that we had in our caches, which is really sad. But, I've tried to keep his legacy alive. And Actually, I have another album that I just released like in 2017, 2018. It's with Freddie B and the Mighty Mike Masters. So they're a good group from back in the days too. They're good friends of mine, and I wound up getting back with that group, and I produced the whole album with him. So it's called Freddie B and Friends. If they want to hear some of the new music that I got, it's called Freddie B and Friends. It's available on iTunes. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere. You just type in Freddie B and Friends, you'll see it. I'm on the cover of it with a couple of my buddies, and I'm featured on maybe 16 of the 18 songs on there. And I got about 5 solo songs on the album, so you can check it out.
And I do want to say I have one more question about the Black to the Future. I have to ask this one personally because this is my favorite song that you guys did on that record. So the single House Is Taken Over was released on 12-inch vinyl in 1989. And I have to ask, what was the inspiration behind that iconic single?
Yeah, the single was actually released in Belgium, Germany. That's the yeah, and Todd Terry did the music, and they released it. They manufactured it to Belgium, Germany, so it was like overseas. But you can actually get a copy of that. They have a lot of copies of it. I think it's on eBay, and some of them are on iTunes too. You can actually, it's still available. It's very vintage though. It's like it's hard to get, especially the vinyl. It's really hard to get the vinyl. But yeah, I mean, The House Is Taken Over. That was like a bonus track that we had on the album.
Yeah, I'd say that.
We kind of figured the Jungle Brothers had a little house music out, so we said, let's try to do it. Let's see what we can do with a little house music too. So we put a little house on.
That was actually my favorite song off that record. So when I knew I was having you on the show, that was one of the questions I had to ask you. But jumping ahead quite a few years, man, in 2010 you came out with a solo record called Verbal Assassin. What's the story behind that record, and where can our listeners buy themselves a copy?
2010?
2010, yes.
What was the name of it, you said?
Verbal Assassin. I saw it on your YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, the Verbal Assassin. That was an album that I was trying to release, but it was more like a mixtape thing. And I never got to actually press it up. The Verbal Assassin is actually on my YouTube channel. So that's when I say when I put all the songs on YouTube, the whole Verbal Assassin album is on YouTube. It's on Super Diggy Dial. You can just tap in Super Diggy Dial, and you'll see my whole list of songs right there. And you know what I'm saying? Dow Jones, Big U the Chemist. They call me Big U the Chemist. That's Big Biguda, Chemist with a K, Kemist. And then you'll see all of the songs right there. There's just a multitude of songs there. You gotta like at least one of them. But I did release the Verbal Assassin album on YouTube. I never got to actually press it up like I wanted to. I did make a few CDs of it, but that was during the time I was going through some turmoil. I was living in the Bronx. I wound up having to move back to Brooklyn. It was just during a big process I was going through right then. So I never actually got to release the Verbal Assassin album.
And also, last month, I saw a post on your Facebook that you were awarded the Male Flava of the Month. How does it feel knowing that after all these years, people are still recognizing your achievements?
I know, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to still be acknowledged after all these years, man. You know what I'm saying? I still have a lot what it takes, and I'm going to have to take what it got. That's what it's going to have to be. That's what it's going to have to be right now. You know what I'm saying? I got what it takes, so I'm going to have to take what it got. Actually, I have my nephews and my nieces coming under me too. They're into the music thing also. So I have one of my nephews. He's going to be performing at the living room in the Bronx this Sunday. He's into the video music box showcase. It's called Just Give Me the Mic. I've been working with Deborah Coco and Ralph McDaniels, and we've been putting together some stuff too. So this summer we're going to be able to come up with a nice little video, and we're going to put it out there. We're going to see what happens.
So I have to ask, do you know if there's any ticket prices? Do you know how much they are, and where our listeners can get them? That way they can come see them perform.
Yeah, well, we haven't really booked shows, anything like that yet. We've been in the production stages right now. So as soon as everything is tied up, we'll definitely be in touch and let you know what all that's about, and the ticket sales and all of that, and where we're going to be performing at. But I'm definitely coming back out this summer. I got a whole list of stuff be informed when it gets ready to be dropped.
Most definitely. And I have to ask you, Nika, what is next for you, man? You told us about the cartoons, the concerts, but what's next for you, Nika? Anything else you want to let our listeners know about while we still have you here?
Well, basically, once I do the cartoon music, I'm going to try to start into writing some movies and stuff like that. My brother writes books. He has about 5 books that he's written. They're actually on Amazon. He's actually made some sort of collateral from them. He's been getting paid a lot from those books he's made, and he's going to help me to format it. I'm going to just write the story. He'll format it, and we're going to try to get it, acknowledged. So try to get a a Netflix movie or something like that too. I'm making a cartoon. I want to try to get that before I try to get it. And I'm also going to be managing a few acts too. I have a few younger artists that I'm managing. We're putting them out soon. Once I get them all into the studio this summer, we'll wrap that up and see how that goes.
Hey, well, I have to say they're most definitely learning from the best. You know what I mean? They're learning from Unique, so they're most definitely going to be some dope artists, man. They're learning most definitely from the best.
All right, big guy. I really appreciate the love, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Hey, man, like I told you before the interview, like I grew up listening to the Black to the Future album, man. So it is beyond an honor to have you on the show, man. But this is the time of the interview that I give a chance for the individual that comes on the show, just a chance to give shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to. And also their social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you if they're not already doing so.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
Are you still there, Unique?
Yeah, I'm still.
Okay, I was going to say if there's any shout-outs that you want to give to some people, this is the time to do it. Also, your social media handles, that way our listeners can follow you.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout-out, man, a big shout-out to my nephew Sincere, and my niece Fantasia, man. I just came from the hospital to see her, so I'm going to love her, man, and I'm praying for her to be better. My kids, man, my daughters, Charlotte and Malaysia, my 2 grandkids, Aiko and Nance. And I just want to give a shout-out to all the people who actually, got a chance to listen to my music, man, and send me some love, man. I'm sending it right back, man. So love. Hold up, man. It's all love, man. I got to send a shout-out to you too, man. DJ Immortal, man. You know what I'm saying, for having me on your show, man. It was a blessing, man. It was my pleasure, man.
Hey, man, thank you so much, man, and you are most certainly welcome. Do you want to give your Instagram handles and your YouTube one more time? That way our listeners can follow you and check you out.
Yeah. My Instagram is Diggymon. It's DIGGYMON. You can check me out there. And on Facebook, I'm Eric Unique Towns. That's ERICK Unique Towns, TOWNES. So you can check that out too. Once you get to the YouTube station, man, you can check out some of the songs, man. It's like I said, the Super SUPER Diggy DIGGY Dow, like DOW. And you put that in, you'll see all the songs up there. You get a little taste of what I'm into. I got that little reggae tune. You gotta get some of the reggae stuff, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You can never go
Moving,
wrong
you
with the
better
reggae.
keep it moving, as if you know what's best. This you want, catch a holding on your push clutches.
That's awesome, man. I want to say, Unique, thank you so much for coming up on Outlaw Radio Live, man. It was an absolute blessing to have you on, man. So thank you so much.
Not a problem, man. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, man,
Good to meet you, brother.
You are most certainly welcome, man. You have yourself a wonderful night.
All right, but I appreciate it, man.
You are most certainly welcome.
Take it easy, big guy.
You as well, brother.